Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here, doing another story time video. This time on, um, I guess a fairly interesting topic. And for anyone who may have experienced something similar to what I'm about to talk about, leave it in the comments. Or yeah, and see. I want to see if anyone else has experienced this. Um, I'm going to briefly talk about my negative experiences with the LGBTQ community. Oh goodness, this might be a little controversial, but me personally, I support LGBTQ. I feel like people love someone or love something, and that's what makes them happy, and they're not harming themselves or harming others. Then let people do what they want to do. Let people express themselves. Let them be them, all that good stuff. So yeah, I support LGBTQ community. One of my teachers from high school that I still keep in contact with, he's gay. He's married to another man, and yeah, we have an awesome relationship, friendship. Yeah, like I said, really was a really great teacher, really solid, genuine individual. So yeah, I support. I follow a lot of people on social media who are in the LGBTQ community. So yeah. Um. So yeah. First story. This took place when I was a junior in high school. I had a classmate. Oh goodness. Now where I went to school, it was predominantly black. I mean, we had a few Caucasian students. We maybe had a few Asian students. We had the other population of students were made up by Hispanic students. Um, so this person, excuse me, I'm not sure if he was biracial or I know he was of Spanish descent, but um, I don't know if he was no like 100% Mexican. I don't remember. Um, and he I can't remember. He may have got held back or something, or for whatever reason he wasn't in the grade that he was supposed to be. But he was like a really smart, solid student. He was a really good student. Um, so I think he was maybe like a year older than me. And at first I really liked his personality. I thought he was cool. He came off genuine. Like I said, he was really smart. Excuse me. And I guess at some point, rather the person told me, or something on my notifications. Rather the person told me, or I just kind of found out. I don't remember that they were gay, and so long story made short, one day, and we had history class together real quick, and eventually they were part of yearbook committee, so they had to transfer to another class for whatever reason, because they were part of the yearbook committee. I forgot the reason why. Um, so one day after school, he had a date with a guy who I don't remember how old he was, but that was, again, we were younger. That was a little suspect. That wasn't really the safest thing to do in regards to trying to meet someone. I can't say anything because I did that my last date. That's what I did. The person came and picked me up from my home, and we went somewhere. Which that again, life lesson. I won't get into. I might get into that on a later date, but um, so yeah. So the person was supposed to come to the school to pick them up so they could go wherever. He was running late. Since we were friends at the time, I was like, okay, well, I have to run to the bathroom and go to my locker and get some things, and I'm going to head home. I used to walk home um, when I was in high school, so I said you could tag along if you want, and they decided to tag along. So went to the bathroom, went to um, my locker, and then we came back to the front of the school. Where we were standing, we were kind of like where we were positioned in the front of the school. There were like these big, like bushes, so kind of like in front of us, sort of from where we were angled. So unless like you walked over into that direction, you really wouldn't have been able to see the two of us standing there. And like I said, I don't know, I don't remember the conversation. I don't remember how we got on the topic, but the person was curious about how big. I hope my video doesn't get demonetized. How big my private parts were, and they asked to see it. And again, I was younger. I was like, what, 16? I think 16 years old. Yeah, because that was like the beginning of junior year, and that was kind of like a deer in headlights. Like in my head, I was like, did he really just ask me that? Like, oh my god, like what? So I was just kind of like, no, I was like a deer in headlights. I really didn't know what to say, and I don't remember what his response to was that, and I just kind of said no, like no, like are you crazy or something? I don't specifically remember what I said. I do remember saying no. Um, and yeah, I just kind of walked off. It was a very weird, a very uncomfortable situation or experience at the time. And I remember I told a classmate, and he was like, "Oh, H no, that was me. I would have beat his ASS." And that was funny. But um, yeah, I mean, I never had that happen to me before, and it was just like, wow. And yeah, it was like, like we were friends, and you came off genuine, and for you to ask me something like that out of the blue, out of pocket like that, was like really like, you know, really shocking. It's like you kind of showed your true colors. So you ruined our friendship. We weren't friends anymore. Excuse me. By that point, I mean, we at that point we already didn't have a class anymore, so it was way easier to avoid him. And outside of maybe like waving or saying like hi, that was like if I was to come across him, that was about it. Um, and at the time, I'm not sure if I was dating my first high school girlfriend or not, but it's like if I was, it's like I have a girlfriend or I'm straight, and you would ask me something like that, like it's just disrespectful to me, disrespectful to my girlfriend, disregarding, um, like I said, our our friendship or whatever. So yeah, that was like my first negative gay experience with someone. Second negative experience, also high school, the same year, but I think it was second semester. Um, so what? Valentine's Day is in February, so at the time I was in FBLA Club, Future Business Leaders of America. That's a whole story. That was like a terrible experience, but um, my best friend at the time, side note, he we both got into FBLA, but he didn't like it in the beginning when school first started. So he left and he went to book club. And book club, he had a lot of fun. They went on field trips to bookstores and all types of awesome stuff. And I was just kicking myself for not joining him. I was so mad, like, oh my gosh, I should have been in book club because I do like reading books. Last book I read, if you don't count like digital, like on my phone, last physical book I read was a novelization of the video game Eco from PlayStation, which I did a review on a couple years ago. Might do a re-review because that video is kind of. I mean, the information in the video is good, but the quality is kind of meh. But anyway, um, yeah. But like I was saying, I should have joined book club. I joined senior year, but by that time, I was only in it for first semester. I don't know if they did anything like field trip wise or anything. So yeah, kind of a bummer. But anyway, um, so we're having a Valentine's Day dance to raise money and to just kind of do something fun. It was unsuccessful. Um, so it was really just kind of like a party, honestly, for us who came up with the idea in a sense, because like no one, barely anybody came, and we had all the decorations and like one person was able to get a DJ, and but yeah, so towards the end of it, I went to the bathroom. My ex-girlfriend at the time, someone who I think was a best friend of hers, I don't know if he was her best friend or not. I know he was her friend. Um I apologize if I say a lot. I try not to do that. So yeah, I was in the bathroom. The friend was also in the bathroom. He happened to be gay, and I don't remember. I think he was like, are you my best friend's ex boyfriend?" Like I don't remember how the conversation started. Um, oh crap, did it again. All I remember was the person said, "If you want me to, I will SUCK your, and private part." So again, deer in headlights. In my head, I'm like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, like why? Like, and I was like, nah, I'm good. And I think I hurried up, washed my hands, and I got the H up out of there. Like again, I'm your so-called best friend's ex-boyfriend. Like, why would you offer to do that to me? I don't know if it was because you were interested in me or because you could, like, I guess, try to blackmail me in regards to her or something. I don't know. Um, but again, it's like, why? Like, I'm a total stranger. We don't know each other. You don't know if I'm gay or not, and I know we're young and high school, but still you have to have some type of common sense or some type of boundaries in a situation like that. So again, that was not cool. Didn't appreciate that. It made me feel very uncomfortable. um yeah, so again, that's negative experience number two. um Negative experience number three. um Crap, I keep saying Okay. Oh crap! I keep saying it. So this took place when I was in Ohio. Uh, Trying to think. This is when I worked at Kroger. By this time, I didn't. I had my driver's permit. I didn't have a license. So every morning, if I had to work in the morning, go to work in the morning, I would usually try to take a lift. Sometimes I would take a lift home, um, or when I got off from work, my aunt or maybe my uncle, who I was staying with at the time, or maybe my cousin, their son, maybe would have picked me up if they were in the area. So my driver, my Lyft driver was black. Um, things started out just kind of casual. Um, Excuse me, I was eating something before I recorded. um, and he started making small talk, which okay, that's not bad. My last experience taking an Uber, which was some months ago, was a really positive experience. My driver was really nice, and we had a nice conversation, and he was an older gentleman, so he was giving me life advice, which was really nice, and I appreciate it. So yeah, like I said, small talk isn't bad. I have no issue with that. Um, then he complimented me, and that was like okay, like it was just like unnecessary, you know. Like it said I was handsome or something. I'm like, okay, like I was friendly, but in my head I was like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. um, and then he was asking me some other questions, and they just kind of came off, like odd, suspicious. Um, I'm trying to remember. And then he asked for my contact, and I was like, whoa, like in my head, like, whoa, slow down, my guy. Because it's like, I was like, you're my Lyft driver, I'm your customer, basically, like, get me to where I need to go. That's the main, that's why you're here. That's what your job is. I like I said, I have no issue with small talk, but some of the questions and some of the conversation was a little sus for in my opinion. you know um but yeah, and I was like, no, I don't remember how I said it, but I was like, you can have my snap. And I said my snap because to a degree I'm still like this. I barely get on there. I only get on there periodically, maybe to talk with people sometimes. I'm not really active on Snap like that. Like I don't really post anything on there or anything like that. Um, look at the time. Yeah, so, I was like, yeah, you can have my Snap. And I kind of did that. So, like I don't want this person to try to do something crazy if I don't, say something they don't want to hear, or you never know. So I just said something to give them an answer so they would comply or whatever. So gave them my snap, and I think I may have said, well, thank you or whatever, and went on my way. And the person texted me later that evening, and it's kind of funny. I was kind of doing what I think what girls do in some situations, where you just kind of give 1, 2 word messages, and you don't really act all that responsive if a guy, I guess, you're not interested in, is talking to you. So that's what I kind of did with him. I was just kind of giving like 1, 2 word messages, and I think he got the memo. So I didn't hear from him after that, after that day, which I was very grateful for. I shared it with my friend Tyler, who I mentioned in my last storytime video, and um, he was like, I don't see what the big deal is. Like, I have a friend who I think at the time the friend may have had children, or the friend was older than him, and I was like, Tyler, like, we don't know each other. I don't know this person. They don't know me. The questions they're asking is like kind of inappropriate. Um, like, you're my Lyft driver. I'm your customer. Like, we're not friends, So it was just weird. I think at the time I told my aunt. She may not remember. I don't remember what her response was. Never told the story to my dad. I probably will at some whenever if the conversation ever comes up. I did tell my mom because me and my mom are really close, so I told her almost everything. Um, and she was like, "Yeah, you encountered a predator," and I was like, "Damn," So. But luckily, like I said, nothing bad happened to me, or didn't have to fight someone or anything crazy like that. But again, it was just uncomfortable situation, just very uncomfortable, and that goes to show you, for any girls that see this, guys can also have uncomfortable encounters with people. Everything doesn't have to result to fighting or pulling out a G-Win and shooting someone or a weapon or whatever. It can be little stuff like that that guys could possibly encounter and feel uncomfortable from. So yeah, those three, excuse me, those three I think are the only three that come to mind. Um, I'm trying to think. So that was bad experiences with the LGBTQ community. Again, the last person, I don't know if they were like pan or whatever, but I mean, by their responses, they acted like they were interested in me. So I don't know, but I put them in this category. Let's see, another story time. So for people, younger people younger than me, 23, who are in high school, I will, I will, I still kind of want to talk about relationships a little bit. So, if you're dating someone, I want to say enjoy each other's company while you still have it. And I don't mean that to be in a negative way, because usually, and not to damper anybody's high school relationship, usually high school relationships don't last after high school. There's a rare occasion, people become high school sweethearts. I have 2 classmates who I were friends with, and they started dating around, I want to say, like freshman year, maybe. And they're still together, and they're both doing well for each other. They're both doing well for themselves. And, last time I spoke with the girlfriend, they're still together. And so they've been together for almost 10 years. That's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. And I'm just like, wow, y'all have been together for all this time, and I still haven't met, the right person for me. But anyway, but they are a rare occasion where that happens. Um, like I said, enjoy one another because you don't know how things will go. I've seen tons of people I knew who were dating and of course no longer date for reasons rather go their separate ways or you know things of that nature. Um, if someone you like doesn't like you back, don't worry. Trust me, you'll be fine. Um, it's like they always say, there are plenty of fish in the sea. When you get older and you get to experience more things, you won't even care about that person you may have liked or the person you had a crush on or that person who may have cheated on you or dumped you or whatever. Trust me, it I know it may hurt now, but trust me, as to lifetime goes on, you will that'll just be a part of growing up. So yes, do not worry. Like I said, I want to share a story. Now, here's something interesting. Three girls that I know of that I had a crush on in high school are all moms now. Now, one of them, I know she's doing well for herself, but she doesn't look like how she looked before she became a mom. So, in a sense, I kind of feel like I dodged a bullet with that one. With that person was my first high school crush. Um, but when I knew them, they were in a relationship. By the time they were no longer in a relationship, we were sophomores. I brought the idea up to them, let's date each other. I couldn't convince them to want to date, want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. The reason was because they dated someone they were best friends with in the past. Things didn't work out and they weren't friends with that person anymore. I was like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not that person. You don't know what will happen until we try to date each other. But they didn't go for that, so we just remained friends for a period. And after a while, I mean, we weren't really friends anymore. I didn't care, of course, but um, yeah, they excuse me, they take a drink of water. Yeah, they now have two children, and the father of the first child, spilling everybody's business, isn't the father. I mean, the father of the second child isn't the father of the first child. So she has two children by two different people. But like I said, she's a nurse, I believe, so she's doing something well for herself. So, wish her the best, I guess. The second person I haven't talked to in years. I had a crush on them. We had a good friendship. But by the time we got to high school, they just kind of like changed. For anyone who's seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid, excuse me. Mm. Um, Mouth's getting a little dry from all this chit chatting. For anyone who's seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the first one, I think they mentioned the main female friend that Riley and Greg, who's like a year older than them, who's a seventh grader, I think, or eighth grader, I can't remember. Um, the female friend they befriend, she makes a reference at one point in the movie, like the girls you knew in elementary school, like won't even talk to you or won't even acknowledge you in middle school or something like that. And she was that's true to a degree. Except for me, it was when I got to high school. And it was really just like so it was just one person. I liked them. They were my type of girl, bubbly, sweet, smart. Um I really liked her. And like I said, we kind of consider ourselves brother and sister, which in a sense I don't know if I like put myself in a trick box. Like if I had just kind of stayed good friends with her and us not treat each other as like we're siblings, then maybe I could have had a possibility that we could have dated down the line. But yeah, they just kind of changed, and I didn't appreciate that because like I've been nothing but a positive, good friend to you, and now all of a sudden you just kind of act like you're too. It's an old word. You're too sedity to, be friends with me or hang out with me or whatever. So, um, yeah, they became a mom. I know that was a couple of years. I know they had their baby by now. I don't remember what I don't follow them anymore. I don't remember what the baby's gender is. I saw, I guess, the husband or boyfriend. He looked okay. Um, Again, it's like, it's like nobody in her family, her parents, no adult told her to like wait. I'm not sure if she was in school. I don't remember, but like I said, it's just, people do things. People do things. I mean, do I want to have children one day? Yeah, I would like to. The biggest thing is meeting the right person or meeting someone in general. I can't just magically magically make children appear when I'm ready to be a parent. But yeah, not any. Oh no, not anytime soon. Not in my 20s. Maybe late 20s when I'm in a position to be a parent. But yeah. So that's person number two. Person number three. I actually heard this from when I mentioned that me and my two people who were like best friends from high school when we hung out a couple years ago. I actually heard this through my one friend who told me. Um, this person number three. This is where the story time part comes in. We were, like I said, we were friends. We were in FBLA together. We weren't right. I wasn't really her type, and it was kind of like our peers were telling me she wasn't into me, but I wasn't hearing it from her mouth. Like she herself wasn't directly telling me she wasn't into me. So I know it sounds kind of dumb and stupid, but so I didn't listen to what other people were saying. I just kept doing what I was doing. I felt like maybe if I keep pursuing her, kind of like with Steve Urkel and um, Laura from Family Matters, which that's not a positive example, but that was kind of my mindset. Like if I keep pursuing her, maybe she'll come around and reciprocate the same feelings. Well, that did not happen. I remember uh, her favorite candy was Kit Kat, so I bought her a king size Kit Kat. Of course, I didn't have a job. I had like limited money on me, so I was trying to do something really thoughtful to express how I felt. And later that day, I asked her, "Did you enjoy your candy?" She was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it, and so enjoyed it, and so enjoyed it." She shared it with her friends who I knew, and it was kind of like, I bought that for you to enjoy, not for you to share it with other people. That wasn't the intent. It's like maybe not the same thing. It's like if my girlfriend or someone I'm trying to have a relationship with gives me something personal, um, and I show it to a friend and they don't appreciate that because or something of that nature. Like I said, that would have been wrong of me. Like if this was intended for me, my eyes only, or for me only to see it and keep for me, it would be wrong for me to share that with someone else. If I know that she would not want me to do that. But yeah, so that's one example. Another example, Valentine's Day, I got her like a rose, a bear, and some candy or something. Of course, I don't think I got anything in return, but um, and I mean, she appreciated it, but again, nothing was really ever really reciprocated, and there may have been some couple other things. I don't know. Um, and I remember a friend of mine. Uh, when I had mentioned that I was like trying to talk to her, he was like, she hope this doesn't get demonetized. She kind of sleeps around, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of aware of that. But again, I had all these signs in front of me, and I kept trying. life, like I said, big life, big learning experience, big life lesson. Like I said, so luckily nothing regrettable happened between us. When we had the Valentine's Day dance, I feel like there was a possibility we could have slept together, but um, I decided, and I'm still like this to a degree. I rather do something like that with someone I love and someone I'm in a relationship with. I don't believe in really believe in hookups, one night stands, um, f buddies. I'm not going to say the word because I might this video might get demonetized. I'm not into those type of things. I'm kind of old fashioned. I'm a hopeless romantic. I want a steady, healthy relationship. You know, I want to do those things with someone I love, not with someone, or it's just kind of temporary or whatever. But anyway, um, so like I said, there's a possibility it could have happened, but I decided not to um, fall through with it because that just wasn't who I was. Um, yeah, so the person ended up. So I had a senior friend. So get to the end of the story. I had a senior friend. They kind of like to sleep around a little bit. I was a little aware of that, but I didn't. I was, we were good friends, so I was like, well, you do you, whatever. Um, and one day after school, they told me like, "Do you still like so and so?" I was like, "No, I don't really like them like that no more." And they shared with me. I mean, I don't know how true this is, but at the same time, we were friends, so I don't really see a reason why he would have lied about it. He said that they slept together, and they did it in the very room we were sitting in, which was the computer lab. Um, yeah. So, like I said, I don't know how true it is, but I know he kind of liked to sleep around. I knew she kind of liked to sleep around, so I don't know, but um, so it was kind of like I was sweet to you. I was genuine. I wanted a genuine relationship. I guess they really weren't the type of person who was looking for a relationship at the time. Like I was all these positive things, and in a sense, it's like you cheated on me, even though we weren't together. But I don't know. Like I said, I guess she thought, well, oh, like talking about me, like, oh, he'll never know. So what difference does it make if we do it or not? So I don't know. Um, so later so when summer came around, she had texted me and she was like, why are you not coming to FBLA next year? And well, like I said, a whole nother story. FBLA was just, for me, it was just a crappy experience because of what was going on between me and her. I was dealing with a lot of drama from our peers and felt like everybody was like against me. Like, example, one day we're supposed to have a meeting. The meeting, our teacher who's in charge of the club, she wasn't present. So it was just all of us young people in a room together. And the meeting turned into an intervention in a sense. And I just left. Like, it felt like everybody was like coming at me, like I was the villain in the scenario, and everybody was coming at me, and I just left. Like, in my head, I was like, "F it, I'm out." You know, um, and my friend, who really wasn't a good friend because he didn't like try to help or defend me in any way. I asked him like at the time, uh, time. What did y'all end up doing? Did y'all get any work done? And he was like, no, everyone just kind of gossiped about random stuff. So I'm like, all that, and y'all, I left, and y'all still didn't get nothing done. But yeah, that's another example. Before I get back to the main story, um, I wanted to be in a lot of clubs. Just have something to do outside of the schoolwork. So I joined golf. I joined golf team. And that was okay. That was a fun experience. I still have my golf clubs in the garage. and I want to take up golf. And when I mentioned it to them, they were like, "Oh, well, one person was like, oh, golf isn't a real sport." And something, something, something. It was like, oh, well, say that to Tiger Woods or say that to those other famous golf players in the world. So just, that negative attitude, like you're looking down on something I'm taking an interest in. It's like, you're not my friend. You were never my friend. You were just talking about them as a whole. So, friends don't tear down other friends, or friends support each other. If it's something within reason, friends support each other. So yeah, like I said, I'm that might be a story time for another day. Maybe I don't know. Think about it. Talk about my experience at FBLA. So yeah. So like I said, the person texted me that summer. Again, we hadn't spoken like since the end of junior year. So I think I kind of called them out on it. I was like, you haven't spoken to me since we last saw each other, and your first response is asking me a question. And I was kind of like, you know why I'm not coming back. In so many words, I don't think I flat out said like, oh, I know what you and so did. I kind of called them out. I kind of called them an HOE without necessarily saying the word. Like I kind of beat around the bush. Like I'm implying, like what I'm implying, basically. And they kind of got mad at me, and I think they tried to call my phone or something. I turned my phone off. Like, I don't know. You could look at it as being petty. I don't know. But at that point, like I said, I was just fed up. I was upset. It was like I was nothing but a good friend to you. I tried to express that I wanted to be more than friends, and you never really reciprocated it, nor did you ever really tell me from your mouth that you only like me as a friend and that's all we will ever be is friends. So I didn't appreciate that. So yeah, in a sense I kind of told them off, which isn't that's not my norm for me to do that to a person. So you must have really had to make me upset for me to go off on you in so many words. So yeah, we had so the class we had together junior year, we had it again senior year because there was like a level two basically. And yeah, it was awkward, but I didn't care. She sat on the opposite side of the room. I sat on the left side. She sat on the right side of the room. Had no issue, you know. But life lesson, and now I know all these years later, she has a child, and I don't think she's in a relationship with the child's father. I know she was in college. I think this happened when she was in college. I don't know if she finished. Hmm. But again, I see it as a, I see it as I see all of these as life lessons. I guess I just try to take away the positives from a negative experience. So that will conclude today's story time because it's almost a 40-minute video. I've been doing a lot of 40-minute videos lately. Next video um, will maybe be a review on something new. I don't know yet. Rather, it's a Marvel Legends, it's a Transformer, or if it's like third party toy, we'll see. My next video might be a story time. It'll be a short one though. It'll be my experience working for Outback for a day, and the the extremely ridiculous time it took for me to get my check. So yeah, that might be the next story time. But like, comment, subscribe. If you have anything to add to this video, leave it in the comments. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.